Welcome back to another edition of Vikings Film Room, brought to you by the Vikings Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Pete Bercich. Well, it's time for the big Monday night showdown between the Vikings and the 49ers. Now, these 49ers may be missing some pieces on offense, but let's focus on who's going to be on the field. Number one, it's that 49er defense. We're going to see how good they are and why they're so good. And we'll dive into Brock Purdy a little bit too. So let's get to the film. So whenever you talk about this 49er defense, this is the first guy that I usually bring up, and that's Fred Warner, an unbelievable linebacker. I mean, he's fast, he's physical, but he's also smart. And we're going to take a look at exactly what I mean when I say that. You're going to see some motion out of the Cleveland Browns. They're checking, Warner's checking it, telling everybody what's going on, but it's what happens after the snap that's key. As the quarterback gets to the top of his drop, he's looking backside of trips, right? He's looking back over there, but Warner knows they have a safety and a corner over there to take care of it. So he's not running to the look. He's staying right where he is. But the next part of it's even more interesting. As this receiver comes up, he knows that he has this safety right on top, so he can let this first go route just go, and he can focus on this guy right here. So before the quarterback's not even looking back over this way, so before he can rescan the field, Fred Warner's ready. And what does he do? He breaks on this throw before the ball even starts, intercepts it, and then you get the big return. Look at that. He's keeping pace with that wide receiver. The quarterback does a great job bringing him down. But Fred Warner is tough and he's smart, and that's a dangerous combination. When you talk about great defenses, yeah, the players are part of it, but what they do together, the intangibles, being smart, those are the things that make a good defense great. And we're going to show an example here of Javon Hargrave, the inside defensive tackle, and what he does and how smart and how much he hustles. So this is pretty much a nondescript play, but as Hargrave gets in there and he gets back, he notices a couple things. Number one, he's free, okay? So he's smelling a rat. He's saying, something here isn't right. The other thing is the quarterback never sets. That's the key for a defensive lineman when he's going to get a screen, is that quarterback just continues to drift back, try to suck you in, and then dump the ball right over the top of your head. So what does he do? He stops and then retraces his steps. Vision goes right to the outside. He's looking for the running back, but look at the hustle. That's how they limit yardage. And believe me, it's all 11 guys hustling to the football. Another guy you have to be aware of is this one, Clelin Ferrell. Now, good pass rusher, speed to power, those things are all concerning. But watch this guy hustle down and play. Watch, the play originally goes away. He sees the pitch, so he doesn't have to worry about the quarterback boot anymore. And when you get to this point, look at this. The Browns have this thing blocked up. Linebacker, body here, body here. He's almost out of the picture. There's no way he's going to make this play, right? Wrong. Watch the hustle and the good angle of pursuit. There's the lane. He comes down. That's only a gain of about 4 yards on a play that was blocked to the hilt. All right, so we've seen Fred Warner. We've seen Hargrave. We've seen other, guys hustling. Well, Oren Burke says, hold my beer. Watch this one. And I think all you fans of football are going to love this play. This, by the way, is the biggest play that the Cleveland Browns had. The corner falls down. He makes this catch, but watch it. This is the linebacker chasing this thing down from behind, saving the touchdown, runs 66.7 yards. That's hustle. That's a linebacker chasing down a wide receiver. Incredible amount of effort on this defense. Now, what really strikes fear in an offensive coordinator is this. We've seen individual pockets of effort, but watching this 49er defense go about their business, this was one of the most impressive things that I've seen. This is just a nondescript off-tackle play that gets pretty much broken up, but a great job by everybody keeping contained and all those things. But when you pause the film, if you're an offensive coordinator and you're pausing the film, look at this. 1, 2, 3, there are 10 San Francisco 49er defenders all inside the frame. That means this entire team. It's not just 2 or 3 guys. It's all of this 49ers defense that runs the football. They're swarming. They're there. It's a sea of red for a lot of teams. All right, we've seen the effort side of this defense, but it's the tackling as well that gives offenses fits. And this play is a perfect example of that. They get the ball outside quickly, and they have this setup. Get your athletes the ball in space on offense. This ball's caught. This receiver's turned up. He's over 5 yards from the nickel or the safety, and he's almost 10 yards from Warner. But watch how quickly these gaps evaporate. And oh, by the way, when there's contact, that running back goes no further. That was a 2-yard gain. The man had a 5-yard cushion and got 2 yards out of it. Now, offensively, the 49ers are a little nicked up. We're not sure who's going to be there, but it's the design of their running game that's so good. And why is their play action passing game so good? Because everything looks the same. And we're going to give you a perfect example of this right here. You're going to see just a jet sweep getting set up and going to the outside. But remember this guy, Martin Emerson Jr. He is the cornerback from Cleveland. He sees what? He sees his receiver blocking down, right? Crack and replace. He blocks down. I've got to replace him in the running game. He doesn't quite get there in time because he gets reached by Kittle. And this ends up being a big run for San Francisco, right? But watch this next play. Here's our guy Emerson again, but watch the look that he gets when this ball snapped. He's seeing the exact same thing he saw on that big run before. He sees his wide receiver blocking down, crack and replace, right? I got to get my rear end out there. Now, there's no tight end pulling. I understand that, but the look is the same. Receiver down. They block so well, you've got to respect it. But in this case, no, we're not. We're going to boot out, and look at the distance that creates. He took his eyes off his primary coverage. That leaves Ayuk wide open, hurdles him, but a huge play because the run and the pass look exactly the same. All right, we know their offense is a little bit nicked up, but we know this guy's going to be there, Brock Purdy. What is he about? What does he do well? It's a surprise that a guy drafted where he was is able to run an offense the way he does. So let's take a look at him and see what he's all about. It's really interesting to watch Purdy operate and how they set him up, right? You're going to see this scenario where you have two receivers in the middle of the field, and they're going to eventually attack the middle. But the defenders, the safeties, they don't know which one of these guys is going to work toward the middle of the field. So that keeps the safeties back. And in this case, here's that pocket. And what's really interesting, Purdy knows what he's going to do with the ball, and he has a quick release. So he's already getting ready to throw this football, and the receiver, Ayuk, is not even in his break. I mean, he just knows where he's going to be, puts the ball there a little bit behind, should have been caught, a drop on Ayuk, but still, that's what Purdy does so well. Another example of the same type of situation that the offense tries to set up, and they do. See, again, you have two receivers here. What have they done? They've widened to open up the middle of the field, putting the pressure on this guy. He doesn't know which one's going to be the in route and which one he has to drive on. That buys a little bit of time, but again, look at Purdy. He's already throwing this football. The receiver hasn't even looked back yet. The timing and the accuracy is right there. That's why Purdy is so tough to stop. Okay, Coach, so we know Purdy, he's a timing type of a quarterback. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll up and we're going to jam on him. We're going to bring the linebackers more into the box, and we're going to stop him that way, right? Well, take a look here. You see at the bottom, Purdy wants this slant. He wants to throw this, but it's covered because this linebacker is working his way into this window. There's one window here, and there's another window way over here, but he sees this closing. So what does he do? He just pulls this thing down and runs. And this guy is a better athlete than you think. A couple missed tackles there, breaks contain, and he's able to make something out of nothing. So the elusiveness of Purdy is something that's tough to deal with as well. And finally, if you're going to be a quarterback, you've got to be clutch. And I have a little montage here put together of Purdy being just that. Now, we used to make fun of Garoppolo because he only threw the ball between the hash marks. This guy's a little bit better than that, and we're going to see this right here. But the timing of these routes, this is a big third down. Gets the ball out to Kittle. Kittle's able to catch that football, move the chains, moving the chains. That's what they do. They're not big down the field, but they're moving the chains. Little man-to-man, get a little interference inside, a good 8-yard gain. This is on the drive that they need points to tie up that football game. And then finally, down here in the bottom, the quick out route, moving the chains, clock running out. Purdy can be clutch as well. Now, with all this evidence that Purdy is a great quarterback, he's also human. Remember, outdoor game, it's raining, those kinds of things. But another situation, they're going to run that little post with the bang 8 behind it. Oh, remember this guy? Martin Emerson? This is why as a corner, you got to have a short memory, right? You miss a tackle on a run, you might give a big play to Ayuk, but you come back on that overthrow and you make a big-time interception. So defensively, they're going to get the first downs, but you have to hang in there. And when the plays are available to make, you have to take advantage of them. So regardless who the 49ers have out there on offense, we know Brock Purdy's going to be out there. He's pretty good. You got to stay after him. And oh, by the way, this is the best defense I've seen on film in quite some time. So points are going to be at a premium if the Vikings want to win on Monday Night Football.